Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is teamfortress.tv, this is TurboTabs, and this is Beta. This is Wiethoofd. We will be your staff this evening, covering our Velocity versus SVIFT game tonight over on the primary stream. If you're feeling a bit more like, I want to watch some teams just get obliterated, TurboTabs, well, my friend, this is not the stream for you. You're looking for Team Fortress TV 2. That's being hosted by Grumpy Koi, Dumb, and Gem, and they're covering 7 versus TTD. So if you want to look at a team just getting absolutely paddle spanked, I assure you to go over to the teamfortress.tv 2. Meanwhile, over in this server, Beta, we've got Velocity eSports versus SVIFT. Now, good game, bad game? What do you reckon? Better game? Did we win out?
I think, and that seems to be the unpopular opinion, that I think SVIFT is just way better than Velocity. I think they're going to win quite handily, and basically everything else that I've seen seems to count against that. So nobody agrees with me, it would seem. Well, not the majority of people anyway. It's like I think the Twitch bot or the Twitch voting says that Velocity is going to win pretty handily. And then of course we also have TF2 Metrics. Check that out at TF2 Metrics on Twitter. They posted their evaluation of it, and they say that it was going to be SVIFT pretty closely winning by 1 round, even going as golden cap on the first map. So, yeah, that's a very close match, and I'm thinking it's just going to be like 5-1, 5-2, something like that. Kind of just a comfortable win for SVIFT. But how do you feel about this?
Damn, well, I mean, we had a look at some games early in the week. And we talked about how with the first week of ETF2L, most teams are still finding their feet, and this is no different. I feel like these two teams are still going to be finding their feet despite some of the bigger names on, say, one particular team. They still need to find that sort of meshing gel together. So you sometimes stumble, sometimes you fall, but sometimes you ascend to such great heights as well. So I think it will be close just by like that new factor alone, but I think we'll have to get into it map by map. Now, our maps this evening are Process and Granary. It's still week 1, baby. This is ETF2L Season 30, sponsored by SDN Trading and Scrap.tf if you've not been paying attention. So this is cash dollar beta. So it doesn't matter if they need time or don't need time. They need to figure out quickly where they're at on this table.
Yeah, just getting money to actually be good at TF2, that's a refreshing change of pace in the ETF2L. That's really nice. So big shout out to the sponsors there. But let's go through the rosters right now. That's we have no fancy stats for you or anything. Unfortunately, it is week 1, so they haven't played any games. And so on SVIFT we have, on Demo Man we have Smear, and then on Pocket we have Mick Asian, aka Poppy. He moved to Denmark and now he's at like a crisis of identity. He doesn't know who he is.
At least it's not Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, it's true. And then on Romo we have Chris. We have Funds and or Crafty maybe on Scout, and then we have Samsey on the other Scout, and then of course we have Connor maybe on the Medic. So that's kind of like half Nunya-ish teams, and then of course some Ascent players, and yeah, it's just really, really solid. And of course we have like the core of Samsey. And basically, also, I think Smear has been on it quite a bit as well. Or maybe I'm just confusing Smear with Ali because they're both beasts. But
but
yeah, why don't you go through the Velocity roster?
All right, over on the Velocity roster, we have Honey Badger, or just Honey, over on Medic. News will be playing that Demo Man. Olga will be playing that Pocket Soldier, believe it or not. Raph will be playing that Roaming Soldier, and we've got Ixie and Crayon on the Scout duo. Now, this team, again, very new team, kind of a pet project really for News. I know for a long time now he said, I wanted to make a team for Prem. I want to make a team for Prem, and he's finally got round to it, Beta. He's given up the caster chair for the gaming chair. And now going into our Process map, do you think like this team of ragtag like gamers are going to do Process any justice, Beta? Or are you still sticking with convictions? Are you saying that SVIFT are going to take him to the cleaners?
I'm not going to change my opinion that easily, but I will say, like we have Olga, who's kind of like an up-and-coming player, so he can definitely make some work. Honey is a very solid medic. I feel Raph is also a bit up-and-coming. Basically, the two French players are just really, like, people to watch out for. They could be really good in the future. And then like maybe the future is now. And then of course Ixie has been just the biggest tryhard for a very long time, and sooner or later that's going to pay off, and he's going to just be absolutely insane. And then News going to be like the main caller, and the Brain going to be exciting to see just how good his DM is. Should be very interesting. But we are live, and then Crayon is probably the weak link, but he can do a lot of off-class shenanigans. So yeah, they definitely have a lot of things going for them, and if they just get a really good start and just maintain some momentum, they can definitely take this. But we are on first middle here.
Yep, first mid, first step for a lot of these players and for both of these teams. Let's see if their first step can bring them to the way of this first map. We are heading straight into a process, and the first thing I'm seeing is Raph getting pummeled by Funds. That is not a good first step, but Velocity are trying to counter-attack their own roaming soldier over on the side of Swift right now. They do take out Chris, and they actually come out quite unscathed from all this, but Funds is actually pressuring out the rest of the team, gets the Ixie frag, but practically for free, and Olga will kind of turn it around, getting a little flag.
Oh, the crit streak, it's a crit streak. Oh, Connor's dodging, but he's completely caught in. Oh, he's still dodging, he's still dodging.
Oh my god.
He got out.
He actually did it.
And then Funch just comes in from the side and takes down 2 players. Unbelievable. Like, I can't believe he just dodged it that well, but there's a scout behind lines, but no, he will find Chris, and those rockets are true. And Honey did also eventually go down. That turned around real quick, and I can't believe Connor made it out alive. He just danced around in a corner. Just game 1 of the every season Connor goes huge, I guess.
It feels like in a game of Team Fortress 2 I should be praising the team, or the one that does the most teamwork on the mid kind of pulls it away from everyone Beta, but Funds just went absolutely insane on that mid. He was taking 1v1s, he was taking like 4v1s at one point and still walking away with kills, and it was a bit of fancy footwork coming out from Connor, but Funds really brought that middle to them.
Yeah, we see an Uber in here. Smear's going to take the brunt of that Uber, and he will take down the sentry gun very quickly. They don't get a whole lot else, but they have gotten some high ground, sending some people behind, and now they've basically taken over the entire right side. They're going to put some time on the point. That's going to force everyone down there. Funds gets a lot of time onto the point, and this is where the meat grinder really starts just churning its handle as everyone just goes down. There's only Crayon alive, and he will not be enough. So just a pretty textbook push in there. They didn't get too much done immediately, but eventually they just make that work out, and just having a big Uber advantage was enough there.
Yep, as plain TF2 can get. You just kind of Uber in, try and get some opening kills, deal with the must-haves, the sentry guns and all that, and then just start capping out the point. The enemy team tries to defend it, then you walk off the point and then punish that enemy team. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's on to our round 2. Let's see if Velocity can bite back this time, and I feel like if they can control Funds, they can control the universe here, Peter. But they just need to find the kid right now. He's just kind of sitting on his own high ground, waiting for the Pappy Bomb, and Pappy Bomb comes huge. He actually takes out the medic for Velocity eSports now, and without any heals they have to either go home or go big, and some went big and some decided to go home. It was News that wanted to kind of walk away to home, but he's setting up some sticky traps in the meantime.
Yeah, it was a really well-timed bomb in there from the 2 Swift soldiers. Just Chris and Poppy just landing on the medic's face just basically at the same time and just completely evaporating Honey there. So just extremely efficient, and then everyone else could just follow over. And you know, you were talking about finding fun, but like the scouts are just being really passive, just really playing reactive on this middle. So it's going to be very difficult to kind of target them at all, because they're just going to retreat until they have distracted players to actually go for. So they have another Uber advantage here, and it looks like they're going to go in now.
Yeah, they've actually taken out the sentry gun before the Ubers come into the mix here. That's a very, very healthy start for Swift Gaming, but they just need to kind of find more kills. They will find the Crayon kill on this right hand side, and they've taken that side for free. They've actually got Chris is kind of doing the work all on his own on the left hand side. His team finally comes in to back him up, and as everybody falls one by one, News is the last man standing, and he hasn't really got a team to back him up with that sticky bomb carpet all over the last point. They will take it away from them slowly but surely. It's 2-0, and you look like an oracle right now, Vita.
Yeah. I want to say don't I always, but it's very early on. Currently, it's basically been like bad mid-fights, right, for Velocity, so you can't put too much stock into this. You know, if they can just stop the bleeding here and actually get a good middle, they can just definitely come back in this, because this has just been a wipe on mid and then Uber advances into last, so it's not over yet.
Yeah, they actually switch it up a little bit. They try to rush the left-hand side instead of kind of taking their own sides on each team, and it's gone drastically bad for Velocity Gaming. They've just couldn't get into those positions quick enough, or they couldn't get past the first initial front line of SVIFT Gaming, and they even take out Honey as well, and that's an elongated respawn for the medic. He's going to be like the last one spawning for his entire team there, and that's going to hurt them.
Yeah, Olga's tried to hide in the corner as well, and everyone has just fallen basically. Cranston has tried to build a sentry gun. Connor wasn't building a whole lot because everyone was chasing, so that's a small, very small thing that Velocity have going for them. But they're going to need to set up a really good defense here, get some off-gases going. They have Ixie on Sniper, they have Crayon on Engineer, but like so far just the Scout demo Uber has just been so effective, and especially if they manage to take down Sentry Gun before the Uber, they're good to go, and the Sentry Gun is always on the same spot. So here we go again.
Yep, early pop in from Connor. This is avoiding the sniper fire from Ixie. Ixie will rotate back into a scout now, and this is a much better start for them. Not only have they managed to hold on to, oh, well, I did say that they've actually losing all these plays quite swiftly. They lose News second in all this. The point is exposed. They just need to stack it now. They've already got loads of teammates on there. They don't even have to go for the kills. It's 3-0 right now, Beta, and oh boy, I'm kind of wondering if I made the wrong choice here.
Yeah, it's still just, it's as dominant as you can basically get, because they just roll on middle and then they roll on through. And Honey has not been able to escape middle a single time, so he just dies. And this time around he even died really super late. Smear does a really fast rollout here. Let's see if he can hit a nice sticky. Yeah, he's actually denied the medkit, so that's a good start. But yeah, Velocity, they really, really need to just not get destroyed on middle.
Well, let's see if they can figure that out. They actually do a splitting up job, seeing if they can focus down Smear with some of the scouts on the right side while Velocity takes out the rest of the players. And it's going a bit smoother, but they've given way too much ground because of that flank team died on the right-hand side. They had nobody to really back up that core over on the left-hand side, so they decided to just back out. Honey goes down again. This is the second round all over again, Beta. It doesn't matter how they approach this mid. It seems to always go SVIFT Gaming's way.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking that you do the thing that's the most embarrassing thing to do in this game, which is just not go to middle, because they're just getting completely rolled, right?
Oh man, I've only seen that a handful of times, Beta. I don't think... Does any team have the goal to really kind of say to yourself that you know, you are the better team, we are not going to go in, we're going to grind this out and just kind of play our game from this point on? But they're 3-0 down. Do they really want to slow it down at this point?
Not really, but I mean, they want to stem the bleeding and just stop this pattern from repeating itself. I don't know, like, I'm not saying what I'm predicting here, what I'm saying is a good thing, but yeah, this is kind of like an option. And again, Smear just jumps in there and immediately takes down the sentry gun. Just very, very efficient at that.
Right, News was isolated on the left-hand side, trying to take Matt to his own hands, lay out some damage, and now there's no damage on the point. They're just free to stand on it, and this kind of baits Velocity in. There we go, 4-0. My God, B2, I think I might actually make Coronation Street tonight on the TV.
Yeah, it's very, very rough. Did we pick the wrongs? Did we like switch the slaughters around?
Hello, Grumpy Koi, are you there, buddy? Can we switch games?
Get us out of here, man. I believe. Come on, Velocity, just get this middle. You just need to out-DM their scouts, which are like really, really good scouts, so no biggie. You got this. And like both teams just playing passive.
And deal with the soldiers and try and kill Smear, who seems to be unkillable right now. They send in Olga. This is much better than before, but I've been optimistic about all these mids so far. They kept the scouts so low, Beta. They just can't pepper them off. They will get Pappy, who was kind of stuck in no man's land, and they did it. They did it, team. They've got one mid.
Yeah, the scouts did a really good job of actually just shutting down the soldiers right there, and just peggled them. Or pick them off kind of slowly, so they have actually pushed them all the way back to last. Connor doesn't have his Uber quite yet, so they got even a second point here, so they broke the cycle right here, and this is going to be really important going into the next map. Even if they don't like make a grand comeback and actually win or anything, this is still like a huge thing to just get out of the way, because if you just lose 5-0 never getting into their side of the map, you feel terrible and you lose all confidence.
I've got a TF2 metric for you, Beta. This is a million quadrillion times better than what they were doing before. They had 0 points, now they've got 2. That's like... you can't time 0 by 0. That is like an infinite amount of better for this team so far. They just need to do it like 5 more times, and then maybe just maybe they can walk away with this map, but they've got 20 minutes left. That's a long time in SVIFT.
Yeah, they did a really good job of losing incredibly fast, so now they have a lot of time to work with. That's smart play. They tried to send in Raph. They will not be able to find Connor. Connor's pretty well hidden. There's a sentry spot pretty far forward. Usually I like to have the sentry gun a little bit further back on the point so that when people peek, they actually get shot by it. As it is, I mean, I guess this will like knock people away from the medic. If they jump the medic, it will like send them to the back of the point, like up onto the high ground. So that's kind of what that sentry does. And of course, like a scout just runs in, it will also shoot at him somewhat quickly. But yeah, we see Funds on Sniper, just trying to see if you can get an angle to get a good shot. You know, maybe a medic's going to wander into view. Oh, a medic actually almost wandered into view.
Oh, Funds, he had the potential, but actually gets shot down, potential gone. But they do pick off Ixie, who overextended for that kill, and this is probably fine in Fun's book now. They haven't really got the ability to really push out onto this last point, although it doesn't stop them from checking these corners, seeing if they can get another cheeky little pick, but they're just going to have to deal with the fact that both scouts are going to come back up onto their original classes. Oh no, Fun's is still rocking the sniper. He hasn't laid down to his confidence at all.
Yeah. Getting picked off once.
Okay, that's why he still wants to come up as the sniper. He feels the mojo, but it just takes a while to kick in. His teammate will block his next headshot attempt, and more times are wasting here, Beta.
Yeah, well, there's one little thing going on. That is Augur is actually on the buff banner. The banner that has no passive like ability at all. But when you pop it, and you need to do like 800 damage to build it, so it's a lot of damage. So it's the worst banner in a lot of ways, but once you pop it, it is so scary. Like, you can just pop it in lobby, not Uber in, and just begin spamming their medic, and it's super, super scary. So that you just get a force out of that in that way. And of course, if you just Uber in, exchange Ubers, and then pop the banner and go in, you will murder things. It's a very, very scary banner to play against.
Oh, Chris is behind though. Chris is coming in as Spy. He has been spotted and being gunned down by Ixie. Ixie on Sniper and Spy Watch. And Honey was brought down quite low toward the panic spam coming out from SVIFT Gaming as well. They have got a sentry gun to kind of rely on in case things get really hairy, but we were talking about that banner as well, Beta, that is still bubbling away, and what makes it so scary is just, I think it removes all damage fall off, so you could be firing these rockets from a great distance and they would hurt just as much as like a close range rocket, if I'm correct.
Yes. And that is just what makes it so incredibly, and also it does a lot of knockback. Like when you do you get like the crits knockback. So if you get hit by anything, you get juggled incredibly easy, and then you're just like kind of floating there. All right, and actually we see Poppy with the counterplay. He's actually on the battalion's backup. So
Mind games.
Yeah, so if he just like gets it and just pops it and holds it, then as soon as the crits comes in, then he can just pop that and completely negate it. They actually send in Raph to try and get a force out, but he will not be able to get it. They do trade evenly though by taking down Chris as well. Oh, they send in a scout. It's very brave, and now they've even come in with Uber. It's a bit weird to just send in a scout like that. Oh no!
Oh my!
It was so long, banner.
He really, really wanted to leave there, but he couldn't. The sentry gun wasn't letting him. Just tractor beam, pinned him down, and just left him in the skybox for the rest of SVIFT Gaming to punch him in midair. So there we go. They've got the push-out Beta. Despite being an excellent aggressive force, they're just as scary over on that defense.
Yeah, we actually hear the banner come here, so they're gonna just use this to get into choke. I really like this play. Like often there's gonna be a sniper here, but this banner is really, really good against sniper. Just basically completely eliminates any impact that he can have, and just in general, this is gonna just force them out of choke, and they're gonna have to get this middle for free without popping the Uber, and they could actually even move on with the Uber, with a small Uber advantage, but I don't think it's quite big enough, so they might just opt to start building again, or they might push in to one of the side entrances and see if they can get some space there, or they might just send in a suicider and go for a sniper play or something like that. So lots of options there. Of course I had 4-0, so they don't need to actually do anything. So we'll see. There's a lot of ways they can play this.
So small for choice here, SVIFT Gaming, and they decide to just kind of kick back let them, Velocity, maybe possibly make the mistake. Keep in mind, it is 15 minutes left, but they've got to feel the pressure a little bit. In the back of their minds, they're thinking, we need to be proactive about this. If they want to kind of claw things back, I don't see many teams winning by just kind of letting the other team with the 4-0.
Oh, we have an Uber fight in here in PC. This is very rare to actually see a proper Uber exchange inside PC. It's a scout against a soldier, but the Uber is much longer for Connor. But yeah, Funch was trying to get Honey chased down, but he could not find him. The Uber didn't last quite enough, and a lot of people just standing in the way. So now here we come, the counter push off of the Funch pick.
Yeah, they will actually get the pick onto Ixie and to Olga as well, as they tried to enter the fight on a good bomb, but they just got cleaned up by the defensive positions of Swift Gaming now, and now that they are on the back foot, they have to get back, because Chris is coming in, and yeah, they're out. They don't want to risk any fight on this second point, because that could mean game over for them. They're going straight back to last, setting up a last defense, getting Ixie on Spy, or is he just class checking? I assume just class checking.
Yeah,
so,
he's definitely standing very still.
Yeah, so they'll probably get a sentry gun, or maybe actually they may even stick with Cookie Cutter, because they've got the overcharge now, and I did say they have to be proactive, so they want to transition these defenses to attacks very quickly, and having an engineer or sniper isn't usually well equipped for that. But what do I know, Beta? They're going with the sniper anyway. Ixie, God, will kill everybody.
Yeah, and also Olga is just shuffling through all the banners. It seems he's now on the Conqueror, and you know, if you want to speed up the game, that's a pretty good banner. You run real fast. Of course, he needs to build it first, but yeah, he gets some damage in here, and Chris takes him down. So now they even have a pick going on, so they can send in a Suicider to try and force out the medic, or they can just push when they have a man advantage. And they do have a sniper, so just getting him forward is an option. And looks like Ixie is going to be just standing on top of the tanks here, hoping someone's going to wander into his sightlines.
Yep, slowly but surely. Eventually, someone's going to have to make a move, Beta, and both teams are a bit sheepish about doing that. So, looks like we're just going to have another fantasy about all their options again, because I don't think these teams are going to pick one.
Yeah, we actually see Chris going sniper. I haven't seen Chris play too much sniper overall, so I'm a little bit excited to see this. Like Chris, I only know him as a roamer. I have never seen him play off-class.
Do you think this is his reward, the 4-0 reward, where players that don't usually off-class get to off-class because you're feeling pretty comfortable. You're just there to have fun with maybe the remaining time that you have left, and you know what, why not try Chris on sniper? Who knows, maybe there's a young Flippy in there just busting to get out and nobody's really tapped into it yet, so...
Yeah, it could be that. It could also just be that both.
Oh, okay. That kid is no Flippy. It's looking more like a... I don't know, I don't want to hurt him too bad. Like a Denia?
Denia was an amazing sniper. You take that back.
Yeah, I just remember, I'm back from the days of the body shots, my friend. I'm trying to say, he's alright, he's effective, but not as good as those headshot snipers.
Yeah, actually, also I want to point out that Samsey is also very much known for his body shot. He will just body shot people all day. He's very good at doing that. So he's a pretty good sniper himself, although it's a pretty passive style, I'd say. It doesn't get a whole lot of huge shots. So it looks like Bobby's just going to go in there, try and exchange this Uber, and Olga actually has his banner, so now that gets popped.
Yeah, Olga's the first one in, and he's maybe the last one out. Nobody wants to actually challenge Olga. It's just Olga on his own with this banner. I mean, the big part of it is that you kind of buff the entire team, but nobody really wants to take the fight to just Olga by himself. They're coming in with a counter-attack now, kind of playing off the time that the banner has run out, and everyone is a little bit scrambled on both of these teams. They're taking just the scrappy fight, seeing who can win out on the DM, and the health is so low for Velocity. The Scows are peppering away at them, can't quite clean up a shot.
In behind. Oh,
Ixie's going to clean up Smear maybe as well, because he just got the funds kill, and Samsey is just doesn't want to go for the backcap play or any sort of huge flank play either, so he's just going to back off, regroup with his Smear compadre, and the reinforcements arrive, and Chris is taking out not just News but Honey as well. That is the turnaround that Swift Gaming needed. They need to start chasing these kills if they really want to hit Velocity hard for their defiance on this second point.
Really well timed there by Chris, just perfectly comes in there and completely shuts down the push. They have a full Uber advantage, and this is a situation they have had a lot of success with. They've even found the sentry gun being upgraded so it doesn't even shoot.
Oh, no, the drop! The drop from
No.
Connor, of course. Just as we were saying, he was doing so well for the start of the season, then he
Front's
goes...
on the point, though. Oh, he just stands there and caps it. All right, 5-0. And turns out Scout's on the point. Caps it real fast. Yeah, what a slaughter. It got a little bit better here at the end, but man, that was a rough first 4 minutes.
I feel almost robbed, Beta, not just by that the way that final round ended, but just by the entire game. These two teams, I thought that were going to be so close, or at least a little bit closer than what I'm seeing. And TF2 Metric lied to me as well. I'm unfollowing this account immediately.
What's it even worth if it can't predict a game accurately in week 1 with a very low sample size? This is an outrage. Why are we even following this
machine
stupid
learning,
thing?
more like machine derping.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Well, now, Peter, before we kind of get into the mathematical breakdown, the logs, is there anybody that was kind of drawing your eyes there? Kind of the old-fashioned MVP, the one that we don't have to look at the logs at?
I feel like it was Smear and Funds that were really doing a lot of the heavy lifting for their team. And oh yeah, I am looking at the logs right now. I just opened them up, and Smear has 14 kills and 3 deaths, and Connor has a whole death and 1 Uber, and 1 drop. So he died once too, and that was a drop at the very end when his team won anyway.
Man,
so that's good.
Once upon a time, Beta, these medics used to not drop at all during the entire season, and now the medics now just seem to, their mantra just seems to be drop, 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 drop.
It was pretty funny the last time we cast it, right? Martin had 3 deaths and 3 drops, and now we have Connor having 1 death and 1 drop. So they will only die to drops, otherwise you cannot kill them.
I mean, it is kind of a good sign. It goes to show that they don't... I mean, is it a good sign? Well, I'm trying to say is like it's kind of like a methodical sign. Like, pretty much the only time they die out in these sorts of scenarios is not because a poor decision was made. It was just like a little slip-up, like a little tiny unexpected thing that they couldn't possibly calculate for, whilst all the other kind of deaths with Medic are usually where an Uber's gone wrong or a bad decision's been made. So maybe this is a good sign of TF2 here.
Yeah. Who do you think needs to just really step up their game on velocity? Because they're obviously doing poorly as a team, but you always have to find a culprit somehow.
This is cool. This feels like a strand of e-bullying. Probably Crayon. I mean, it just feels a bit. Oh no, probably News actually. News is actually that's comically bad. That is quite bad for News. He's not putting out much damage. He's not getting much kills. I'm not really, from the memory of just retracting that game, he was getting picked off a little bit early on during some of these defenses. Not all of them, but a few of them he was going down as the first person and really should be the last person to die on these defenses. I'm just not feeling it for the golden boy of this team right now, News. He's just, and the stats have not been helpful to him either. He's barely can scratch a kill in there. His DPM, even if you throw in some assists as well and whatnot, he's only got 140. That's a bit criminal for a demo man at this level. Yeah,
we just saw the PvP stats, and you can see Chris killed News 4 times. So that's actually a pretty sizable, a good stat to look at, because normally we just see scouts crapping all over roamers, but when a roamer is just destroying your demo man, you usually have a problem.
Your demo man is almost like a bedrock of your team. He's usually the one that's especially, I can only imagine he's the one that's calling for his team as well, so he can kind of center the team all around him if he really wanted to. Usually that's kind of the sign of a caller. Everyone plays around that caller and keeps him alive, or plays how he wants to play, and usually people want to play alive, Beta, so they kind of bring that team around them. But News is just getting the hate stick right now, or maybe I should call it the hate rocket. Gris is just making him public enemy number 1.
Yeah, but we are also moving on to Granary, and if you've been paying attention these last 2 days, or the last few times we've been playing, map 1 has been going convincingly to one team, and then it all switches and they lose the second map. Like, it doesn't matter if you win 5-0, second map goes to the other team. That has been a pattern so far. Do you think there's any chance that we can see that repeat?
I mean, we've usually made this assumption based on like how both of the teams are built. Usually one team has like an edge in scouts, one team has an edge in soldiers, but I feel like Swift Gaming are holding all of the pieces to the puzzle here, and Chris and Pappy have been kind of showing off on the mids previously as well. They can kind of do a number against Velocity eSports, even without funds. So let's see if they kind of continue that ritual here over on our second map. This is teamfortress.tv, TurboTabs, Beta, Wiethoofd. We haven't gone anywhere, neither of these teams. Velocity eSports versus Swift Gaming, and the first thing I'm seeing is two roamers just saying, hey, hello, how are the kids, and just kind of waving past each other as they bomb into each other's cores, and this is a much better middle for Velocity Gaming to start off with. I guess you're an Oracle still, Beta, as well.
Yeah, well, it's not over yet. There's 2 scouts and a medic alive versus 3 players without a medic. So even though Velocity initially won this, they did not... Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, so they do just out-DM them, their Velocity. Yeah, I definitely would have taken that fight as Swift as well. 2 scouts buffed with a medic against 3 players not buffed. That seems like a good fight, but there's really strong DM here coming out from Velocity, and Connor even gets another drop and another kill. Not a proper drop, obviously, but
I mean,
the stats continue. 100% of his deaths are drops. It works.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Beta, but didn't they have the Uber charges there as well? They could have maybe just used the Uber to go back into that fight and really have a good start with those 2 scouts, and just the way they were positioned or took the fight seemed a bit all in for me. Usually with a medic advantage you can kind of pepper them off, keep that mid-grip range ground, and if things are going bad just play off the heels, but they just went really close there trying to end the fight in 2 seconds, and it just went Velocity's way.
Yeah, I think you're very right in saying that they shouldn't have gone in deep. They should have just chipped them down a whole bunch, because then they just slowly get an advantage. And especially when you are down a medic, you want to just dive them, because then the heal advantage is not as pronounced. So they really didn't play that right. I think you're very right in saying that. But we are now stuck in a 100% Uber versus 100% Uber situation. And it's just going to be both teams trying to see if they can edge their way in, maybe spam out an area and then send in a soldier. We saw a lot of teams just pushing one side and then sending a roamer through the other side. So just using the push as a distraction yesterday, and I quite like that, and it seems to be definitely a theme.
Yeah.
We've seen quite a lot. It looks like Olga's just going to try to make his way in there. He will not succeed.
Well, that's the key word there, Beta. Try. Everyone's just spamming him out from that tiny little doorway, and I mean, to give the map credit, it has been getting easier as time has passed, and even still, it's still pretty hard to get through that doorway as a roaming soldier and try and find a kill, let alone like a jump.
Oh, we see a very aggressive jump in here from Chris. Takes down the Demo Man. Noose going down is actually pretty nice, because now they can just walk through chokes. They're not easy to walk through by any means, but the Demo Man going down is definitely nice, just overall. And also Chris will have the opportunity to go some sort of off class. I don't know. Soldier is pretty good in this situation, but they've actually sent in a scout behind. Is funds. Yeah, and Honey has been forced to pop. It's just going to be
my god.
Yeah, Fun's still behind, and this Uber...
Oh my god, he gets the health pack. Is he going to get out? That would have been insane. But he's bought so much room for his team now. They can actually enter the fight. Oh my god, Samsy's getting bullied. Where's the rest of his team? Samsy goes in, and he's just taking so much damage. The soldiers have arrived now, and they're spamming them down, pushing them out, slowly out of this left-hand door. Even Samsy will get a cheeky nuke. Oh god, they got the Honey pick as well. I think Chris must have gotten in behind, but that is curtains for Velocity eSports, as now Swift Gaming going to take out this midpoint, and shows that even if they do lose a mid from time to time, Beta, they can still claw it back.
Absolutely. So Connor has a pretty decent advantage going into this. So if they're very quickly and manage to just take yard, they have to go in now. But if they can take yard, then they can actually also push second. So it all depends on how aggressive they are, and obviously they're not really wall hacking, maybe except for the smear, obviously, but we don't know.
I can assure you they're not wall hacking there. They had so much respect for Velocity that they were building that Uber over on midpoint when yard was actually for free, and it wasn't only until they stepped out and went, oh, There's nobody here. Okay, well, let's move on, team. And they pop the Uber in onto this right-hand side, and News is caught out yet again. And with News going down, that is a massive amount of their damage, their kind of control for these doorways as well. They can just enter any doorway. They actually rotate all the way around to the left-hand side, and this is a very smart play. Kind of cuts out any possibilities and allows everybody to heal up for his team.
He gets the Uber. And he barely pops it off.
They lose everybody though. They've only got one scout to kind of chase down all these kills. Smear will go down for it, but I can't help but think if the rest of his team kind of stuck beside him, maybe got some heals onto Smear, they could have just tanked that one scout, but they didn't decide to risk it. They will go back and see if they can
I think we have
to
a
this
crits
point.
banner. Yep. Look at that. Just Olga getting completely... Oh, is it the... Oh, it's just a battalion backup. My bad. I thought that looks like the other banner. But they're just going to go in here and definitely hold on to this point. Like, the banner advantage is just so good. And as I say that, he dies, and I jinxed it. No, nice. Go me.
I mean, that's the power. They call it a choke for a reason, Vito. It's just that tiny little doorway makes it so easy to funnel all those rockets, all that damage into one player, even if he's taking less damage than he should be. Funz is actually deciding to go in on hard on this left-hand side. He wants to chase down Honey, the medic. Honey will pop off his Uber, finds that Uber in time, and Connor has to get out. Nobody's actually deciding to prioritize Connor, though. They really want the Funz kill, and Funz really doesn't want to give it to them. He won't get the Wrath kill instead. 2v1. What is this kid had for breakfast? He's just taking all of these multiple fights, and he's actually shedding out kills.
Yeah, just takes him forever to die. Olga is...
oh, nice surf from Honey. Yeah, takes the express lift to the top balcony. So they will get this midpoint, and they will have a little bit of an advantage, despite the fact that Connor popped first. But Connor kind of left his team to kind of deal with the fight and didn't really heal anybody for a little time.
Olga tries to run through, but not quite able to get it. Chris is going in very aggressively. Last time around he took down News, but this time around he is not as lucky. And that's a pretty big pick. Like Olga has been playing a lot of banners and stuff, and it seems like he's taking the majority of the heals for a lot of the time, so just him going down can be pretty annoying. He's actually going Spy. I don't know if he's just checking or he's actually moving out. Looks like he is moving out. So he's on the Le Tranché and the speedy knife. I don't know what it's called, but he is also on the Cloak and Dagger, so he's just getting ready to get in there. A big earner. Thank you, Wiethoofd.
He actually moved out, the mad lad. Nobody will expect the
he is just dancing around all the players.
Oh my god, he's dodging all the lasers.
He got spotted as well.
Man, he did so well, Beta. Like, he was dodging a lot of like players in there. There was so many. Oh, did he get a saw as well? So that's going to kind of throw the...
Oh yeah, Connor has a bind that says got a saw, and he always uses it in the worst times, but this time it was actually appropriate because he got a saw.
An accurate chat bind. This never happens in a game of Team Fortress 2. They've got their own spy, and the spies are just not working out, not fooling anybody. It looks like we need to take out some acting classes over in Highlander for both of these teams, as we're just kind of waiting for things to happen at this point. Raph is trying to throw this doorway. Raph might go down here. He actually does. There's no health pack for him to pick up there, and Samsy chased him down all the way, and Samsy's in behind. Nobody knows this. And
Crayon is also in behind. He's actually fighting a soldier on last. Like, what? Well, what is this fight? But he's actually going to win it.
He's actually brought Samsy back as well. Samsy's come back to like lynch some of his teammates. He's like, how is this scout giving my entire team this much trouble? So we'll go back, and they have given up all this ground. They want to take this fight though. Oh no, they drop Olga during the Uber, and that's a nice Uber coming out from Connor there. Keeps Smear alive, and they're chasing the Honey frag. They really want to take medics out of the equation for this, but the rest of Velocity are trying to focus down kills instead, but the kills are still too hard for them to kind of get there, as Connor will keep himself safe, keep everybody healthy, and he even has an Uber advantage to boot if he can just build it up at this point on.
Yeah, they're actually being pressured pretty heavily, but a few spawners going to come out here as well. So they've actually been completely wrapped around here, and the soldier's going to jump in very aggressively, try to get them out of there. Connor's pretty weak. This is all very, very chaotic and very, very uncomfortable.
Soldier spamming Connor from behind, and he has to go into the thick of it now over on that Oh, I can't help but think that if Olga there just kind of manned up, went for the jump, he would have got the Connor kill, but decided to just sit back and spam rockets at Connor, which is pretty easy for the British medic to dodge in the end. They're going in, they've got the heals and the Uber advantage at this point. They even got a scout advantage and a medic advantage. What other advantages are they going to get? They're going to get a scout advantage as well. They're still not capping out the point. They're kind of getting the morale advantage if they keep this up. There we go. 1-0 on the board for SVIFT Gaming. Despite the good start, Peter.
Yeah, indeed. This is a lot better, but like just the fact that they got it so far before even using the Uber. Like the medic, like Honey was dead before Connor even started using his Uber. So they got in real far. So just another really nice DM fight there. It's gonna take it for them. It's gonna make it 1-0. Although there was the first middle was pretty good right here for Velocity, and this is a middle that can definitely go to the team with the better
Chris,
planning.
He snuck his way around. He missed his first rocket, but now hopefully should be able to finish off News. Now does get the News kill, and again keeping up his vendetta against that boy. Really, he must have. These were once teammates, believe it or not, Peter. They played in France together. They were. I guess he feels a little betrayed from having Olga and Raf on his team now. Oh, a nice kind of counter bomb coming in from, I think that was Olga there. And we'll send the rest of SVIFT Gaming back on their heels. Connor's there to heal those heals back up though. And they can't really finish it out. They can't track down these kills.
Oh no, the medic! Oh, Connor. Barely survives.
They're just going to weasel this point under their noses, and they've popped off the Uber now. Connor's got his own Uber, he kept alive. This is a rare moment in TF2, Peter, because both of the medics stayed alive on Granary mid and used both of their Ubers.
Yeah, it looked like Ultra Duo there for a while, where Ulti Trio, I guess that's called. It was just like 3 players on a medic just fighting it out forever. Double soldier bomb in. And somehow the medic does die immediately, but the scout will clean it up, and now
the meat grinder. Oh no, Raf will find 1 kill, and the soldiers are actually doing a decent job here to kind of make this fight longer than it should have been, but what a good double soldier bomb coming out from SVIFT Gaming there. That was very, very healthy damage for the team to kind of capitalise on, and it got a bit scrappy, but still went to the way where it should have gone.
Yeah, it just completely pincered them. So like it split up the medic from the exit and a bunch of players there. So like so the medic obviously died, and then the rest of the team just got completely pincered as well and just destroyed. And we are left with an Uber advantage. Let's see where they go. You can actually, on this version of Granary, you can actually just climb those boilers over on the right side when you're attacking. So you can just get up onto the high ground really fast if you want to. But it looks like they might just be going for the right side. Or they fake me up.
Man, I miss that about the old Granary. It was a skill climbing up there once upon a time. You had to watch a YouTube tutorial and all that to get up there, but now it's just a feature. Anyway, bitterness about map making aside, they tried to enter in the same fashion that they did last time. They kind of enter slowly from this left-hand side, see how much ground or players they can farm before having to pop the Uber, but they couldn't find quite as many as last time. They had to use the Uber a little bit earlier, and Honey didn't even feel bit of pressure there. Has still got an Uber charge brewing in his back pocket, should have it just about now, and SVIFT Gaming knows this. They're going to give up the ground, but not without some healthy spam to maybe cross their fingers and hope that they get a kill here. Oh god, they crossed their fingers and they've won the lottery, Peter. They've got 2 kills onto News and to Olga. That is the combo of Velocity, and that's their main caller as well. They're probably in disarray.
Raph coming from behind. He actually blocks this point. And a little bit, he didn't get the kills that he wanted, but he does still get a scout, so that's nice. And that's going to slow things down, but they still have a man advantage as they move in here.
Yeah, they get, oh wow, nice Ixie deny onto that soldier there. They actually turn this around, they get the Uber charge off, and they're chasing them with it. Connor wants to get really greedy though. He wants to start milking this Uber for all it's worth. He's so out. Good God, funds have almost exited the server, is how far out they are. So they've given up second, we've established this. They've got 100% Uber, but I'm not sure if they want to take the fight, because Velocity eSports should know that they've got an Uber charge. Connor stayed alive during all of that, and they're going to set up a defense for them. And this Granary defense is always a bit of a pain to kind of use an Uber.
This is a really good time to go for the left side push. You can go even up top. Oh, it's actually going to go through C. Just takes in the scout immediately into their faces, but Connor gets bounced around quite a lot, so funds might just go down. Yeah, he can't quite commit all the way in here. Like, oftentimes when you have a big Uber advantage like this, you will go all the way left side and then like go up top and then go behind So you're basically pushing last while pushing second, and then you actually get to use your Uber on last. But no, they just go through C, and I think it caught most people off guard, but they couldn't quite chase down Honey, and now it's Honey that has the Uber, so they can actually push back here and come back onto the second point and cap it.
It's just so annoying for both of these teams to push out because of these bleeding shutter doors. It just feels like once you get to that point and push them out there, it feels like such a dedicated place in the map that you have to kind of overextend into, and that's usually just TF2 101. That's where you kind of turn things around and make the reinitiation and decide to fight back, is just when they pass that line of the shutter doors. But neither team makes this mistake. Actually, they go through the lunchbox area.
Fun, yeah. They just like it's really interesting. This is the seesaw kind of gameplay where they keep exchanging Ubers for points, but they actually get slowed down. Like the cycle gets broken because of bleeding players there. It's actually Raph just kind of giving his life to get his medic the Uber. At least it looks like that. It doesn't have it yet, but I don't think we actually are able to see Swift get a push in before the Ubers come into play. We'll see how they do it. They actually have a soldier up top, and he is maybe onto the medic. Yeah, it was like 4 players between the medic and him, so he can't quite get him. So now it's definitely completely equalized. It's going to be a matter of who can get the better picks.
I'm just laughing at the fact that they're not falling for the same trick twice. Smear's stickies have been isolated and destroyed, and they actually they bum rush a scout in there for a second there, but those are decoy stickies. I've just been pointing out that the stickies on the box are still primed and healthy, and Smear wants to kind of bait a player into this, and Newsy's being a good boy, he's checked those stickies.
Bounced into them. Almost, no, okay. Like, it's so easy to get bounced. Like, if you can get like a single sticky or something behind someone, you can bounce them into your team. So you have to be really careful when contesting a demo man in these kind of spam situations. But I would say, like, this is one of my favorite stalemates, like, of any map, because you don't have enough. You can't really hold lunchbox. There's actually just an Uber in here, just getting the Ubers out of the way. That's pretty interesting.
Ooh. An interesting take from Velocity. They decide instead of kind of chasing the other Uber out the door, they're going to rotate round to the flank, but there's no flank to really rotate onto. They all get out of that doorway. Ixie will just take the good old fight anyway and goes down for a trade against Funds there, but it's bled a little bit worse for Velocity, and they're going to feel a little bit of pressure here. They're going to have to trust a lot on the
spy, but he's just like running with his team. So he hasn't had too much success. They actually run a single scout behind. This is such a good move. Yeah, everyone just walked back because they had to, because the scout pretended he was running behind. And that's going to open it up for this. But actually a sticky trap on the point will force everyone to go back, and Papi is
Papi's been unspotted. He's uncloaked. He's on top of the medic. He just needs to stick the knife straight into his back, and he does find it. So, with the medic taken out and everybody on Velocity is so confused, I'm pretty sure we did a head count as Swift Gaming earlier. I didn't see a spy, but there indeed was a spy. They've got an overcharge ready and almost just a little bit waiting for Connor, as they should be making this push out onto second, maybe even getting the second point for free, because not only have they lost the Uber, they've lost a bit of heal advantage as well. They could just spam them out here. There we go, caught them on by surprise, get the news kill. That's going to hurt. They're going to have a push very similar to the first round where they won out that last cap point. They just need to enter this point for free. They have got a central gun to deal with. They actually popped the Uber quite early considering how low-key everything was. They're already pressuring out the point. The soldiers try to deal with this by jumping onto it, but there's just way too many players to deal with. 2-0, Peter.
Yeah, just really crushing there, going in. It's kind of interesting to see, really. And we have a crit streak again. It's pretty interesting. Normally the medic doesn't survive on middle long enough to really make use of these crit streaks. But I will also note that both teams so far, it's been pretty interesting to see. Like, they both just commit to one side, and they usually just try to figure out which side the enemy is on, and then they just go to that side. So they just basically meet in one area, one side of the middle, and the other side of the middle just doesn't get used after like the first initial standoff. So let's see how they play this.
Yeah, they're just waiting patient. Oh wow, there's the patient is Pappy. He's taken out Honey, and now they can just play heals. They need to find their medic though, and before he could even find him, Beta, somebody over on Velocity Gaming finds him first, gets the Connor kill, and now they're just kind of encircling them like a shark. Ixie is hunting down, smells blood of all of them, and picks them off one by one. If you listen closely, Beta, you can hear the jaw music in the background. Dun 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 dun. Oh. Okay, there was a second shot. That's a twist.
Yeah, that's what happens at the end of the movie. You put a gasoline tank in the mouth of the shark and you blow it up. Obviously.
I'm pretty sure the shark doesn't team up with the guy with the gasoline tank, though. But
it's been a while since I watched it. Maybe that happens in the third one or something. Who knows?
Jaws 2. This time the sharks are weaponized.
You laugh, but there's like 5 Jaws movies, and they're all terrible except for the first one.
Oh,
anyway,
wow.
I can see a very aggressive push through the left side here. So Crayon is in a position to go behind, and they've definitely been able to take Yard. And the Ubers are completely even, so it's not like they're just bullying out with Uber advantage or anything. So that was just pure presence that really made that work.
I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't stick with the Kritzkrieg. I know that ultimately in these sort of stalemates, Kritzkrieg kind of loses out against the Uber, but Kritzkrieg also kind of sets the tone of the game and makes it a lot quicker. And when you're 2 rounds down, Beta, you want a quick game of Granary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And yeah, Kritzkrieg is good. Also, just getting a bunch of rounds in. Like this middle is very volatile, so like it's a really good way to just get. If you just get a bunch of rounds, you will speed up the game because these middles are really rolly. But because we're gonna have double soldier going through the rights or through the top side here, and it's not gonna be an Uber, it's just gonna be a spam strategy. But we did actually see the medic climb up onto the high ground using the boilers right here. So we got to see it, but it wasn't to rush into the point, it was just to get him into a different position.
This is a cute little spot from Connor there, where he's just sitting on the, not quite the pipe, but like the support for the pipe. And Raph has entered this fight, and it's taken him a little bit of time to kind of figure out where Connor is, let alone where he should fire his rockets. And it's such a peculiar and awkward spot to fire at.
Oh, Ixie gets taken down by Funds. So Funds should now have a lot of space. They're actually 2 down, and he just runs back. Alright, never mind. I thought they were just gonna abuse the fact. Oh my god, really nice force there from Chris. Takes Honey down with 1 rocket, and then the second one was gonna hit, so he has to pop. And now it's a full Uber advantage for Connor. Even Olga in here, so that's gonna be a pick as well. And as long as they just manage to block top, this should be an easy push coming out here from Swift.
I've seen that sad jump so many times in my career, Beta. You know when you medic gets popped and you're like, alright, here we go, I'll jump in and just try my best, I guess. And it doesn't even look like he's going 110%, you know. He's just kind of going through the motions of TF2, and they Uber out for Swift Gaming. And Crayon is actually giving them the sliff. Kind of the 360 no-scope turn has actually done him well, and they will kind of hold on to their flank and get the second point, but I'm shocked that Crayon is not dead there.
Yeah, some really good movement. That seems to be a general pattern. There's been lots of really nice dancing going on. Just keep yourself alive. Samsi's continuing to play engineer. I think he left his sentry on latch. Yes, he did. So are they just expecting to lose the second one, or is he just waiting to destroy his sentry gun and then get a crits or something? I don't know exactly what his plan is here. But there's going to be an Uber in his face.
He's got the... Is that the Rescue Ranger? Frontier Justice, I'm being corrected by a Highlander expert. Thank you, thank you. Isn't that the one where you can pick it up from... You can pick it up from long range? That's the Rescue Ranger. God damn it. I need to get
this one gives
Tombs
crits
TF2.
if you have... Yeah. But anyway, the Uber has been just massively in favor. Oh, Honey takes down the medic after he takes down the demo man. That's crazy. And also he even got someone to just leave the server. That was Poppy. Apparently he was struggling with some Danish internet or something. I'm not sure. And Honey, he's still escaped. No, okay, Samsi will take him down. So.
Guys, there was a backcap during all of that as well. But I mean, probably not the greatest sign, but I was a bit speechless there, Beta. I'm losing my words. I'm just shocked. I had my jaw.
Completely sheepless.
Yeah, I was just... I was just amazed. It left me without any words, so much so that it's taken words away from me. They will kind of get that second point back from the back cap attempt from Ixie, and it was no real danger of the round. There were some players on that last point, but just things got a bit scrappy and a bit confused, and I kind of just blurred it all out as just watching that kill onto Connor.
Yeah, Olga's very, very weak. He's on 5 HP. He's gonna need an arrow real quick. The stat, give it to me, Bog. And Honey keeps missing on Olga. It's pretty funny. He's like, he missed arrows before where Olga was standing still as well. So Olga is a skinny little guy, skinny little Frenchman, and that applies in game as well, I guess. Or maybe Connor's bad. No, Honey is bad. Sorry.
Wow, just calling everybody bad, Beta. Just
you really think it was an accident?
Laying down the law. Alright, 100% Uber for Team Swift Gaming. They can definitely have taken the fight there, but they just didn't want to risk it, I suppose, not even take yard. And God, they just take it the hard way, and I'm not sure if I'm talking about Velocity, if I'm talking about Swift Gaming. They will pop off their own Uber eventually, but Connor responds in kind with his own. Honey gets launched up so high into the sky that he doesn't crater just thanks to that Uber they had left over, and God, that one scout just got ruptured by the rest of Swift Gaming. They are stacking that midpoint, and there is a bit of a back cap play from Raph, but what can Raph do at this part of the map as a lowly little roamer? He can
yeah, he's gonna need to go for gold here. Oh, he gets spotted. He's gonna need to shoot up at that scout, but now Samsy will just take him down immediately. Ixie is in the forward spawn as the snipers are getting ready for people to push through. It's pretty standard.
Nobody's pushing from that side, it seems. Samsy will have a peek, but they just kind of push him back, and they got the left-hand side for free, and ergo they should get the second point for free. They've got an Uber charge bubbling away. It's about 30% off, so they'll get a nice healthy advantage going into this last point, and let's see what sort of defense they can kind of conjure up for Velocity. They've got a sentry gun, they've got a sniper, pretty cookie cutter for a last defensive granary, and there we go, the Uber's coming in. This time they're actually pushing from the right hand side a bit unexpectedly, as the sniper wasn't really ready for that sort of Uber coming in. They take out the sentry gun quickly as well. They gain high ground, some good post Uber positions coming out from Swift Gaming here. They will kind of bunch up as well, and with no Uber safety net coming out from Velocity Gaming, it will be 3-0 for Swift Gaming.
That was a really nice re-push right there. The initial push got the sentry gun down, it got people kind of out of position, but then they sort of lost some players and some positioning, and it wasn't looking too good, but then they just moved back, got some heals, mostly some arrows, and just kind of focused the fire really well, and then they just moved in and got it, and Smear especially got a ton of damage going on. Yep,
definitely the best place to push as well. It was quick, it was a place that avoided the sniper, they avoided the sentry gun, and they didn't even expect it coming from that doorway. I don't think there was even stickies on that door, so very nice coming out from Swift Gaming. And what a very nice bomb, or damage coming in from Raph. They need to follow this up though, but all the weak players for Swift Gaming are just kind of behind crates, behind boxes. There we go, they will sniff them out and get the kill onto Smear, and this kind of opens up the map for Velocity Gaming now. They got a lot more to work with. News is rallying his troops to start pressing forward. With Smear down, every second makes these doorways just a
Samsy's behind. He might run into a soldier. Oh, yep. Alright, so now they know. A bit unfortunate that he doesn't have the element of surprise. I mean, did make it out.
All they know now, though, is Beta, is that they haven't got a scout to actually deal with. They can just enter this fight almost like 5v5 or 6. Did that scout?
Just stands on it. Alright.
Okay.
You just pushed away the demo and just stood on the point, and yeah, I don't think Smear just kind of expected him to just keep on capping it out. But he did. Wow. 3-1, Ixie going huge, and there's actually technically a possibility for them to come back now. They just need to roll 2 mids in a row, and they're in it.
It is a long map though, Beta. It's people call it the 7 CP, more like the 6 CP map. It's just such a big map to kind of climb towards, and they will enter this fight in a much better start than last time, and Velocity Gaming are actually doing much better movement. Again, it's on this right hand side crate, and they can't really find these players that are on the top balcony, but the balcony players aren't really contributing anything for Swift Gaming. They're just going to get out, keep Connor alive, and with a bit more bodies they'll leave one body on mid and start pushing forward, and They do have Smear up there. They need to keep in mind that there could be a sticky trap at any corner, and they will isolate it, find it, and take it out. And they've actually Ubered in, and well, there goes the soldier. And now he's back from the moon, and he will be killed.
Yeah, I understand why they're moving so fast, like they need to, but that might have been a little bit too fast. Smear just completely crushing all these pushes. Connor still has his Uber, so if they just get out here and capture the second, it is definitely over. And Samsey, he wants some medic packs here. There's no fantasy TF2 this season to play for, but getting a medic kill here, that's fine, and then even finds a soldier one. That's gonna look great in the logs. Good job, Samsey.
Yeah, I'm just having a little chuckle at the last point. As both the team was so happy with their push out, but they all paused for a second, like, wait, the only way we could lose this is if we get back out, and they left funds on last just to make sure. But I mean, a little pause aside, they're actually taking the huge flank round. They're ignoring the point. What a genius play from SVIFT Gaming here. They're not going to be expecting this Velocity Gaming. Although I'm not seeing any deaths right now. Maybe this is just getting a bit of clowny TF2 where there's nobody really to flank on. They're just kind of kicking a downed person. That's
this is the Smear Frack show now. He has 15 seconds to just go huge. Oh, it looks like he's just going to trap the forward spawn. There's even a scout on last. Okay, you can't quite get it. Alright.
Actually, he did come back to mid just in case, but Connor, it's the Connor Frag show. It's Medic 1v1. He wins! I mean, he technically got an extra sword in over the time, but... Kill. Oh, there you go. 3-1. What can you say? Apart from congratulations to SVIFT Gaming, they've taken away the fat 6 ETF2L points in this week 1 fixture. A game that everybody, you and I, well, maybe not so much you, but definitely I, and TF2 Metric thought was going to be close. I know there's going to be some people out there that are some Velocity fans and believe in them, but your belief wasn't enough, Twitch chat.
Yeah, let's do some quick locks, and then we can pull in some people and hear what their thoughts were. And once again, we see Smear just absolutely crushing the server. He had 341 DPM, going 22 and 8. That's really, really good. And then, also interestingly enough, we actually saw both Ixie and Crayon do significantly better on this map than before. And News, again, kind of struggling with the 9 and 19. But he like doubled his DPM, so that's something. And then, yeah, Samsey had a good game as well, 27 for 12. Funds, 27 for 14. So just, even on a very soldier-heavy map, it seems like good scouts are going to good scout all over you.
And I'm going to put a little asterisk for my point here, Beta, because I love News. Who doesn't love News? But he's just kind of not a candle to Smear right now. Smear is just head and shoulders the best Arrowman in this game. And, well, not in the entire game, but in this match. But, I mean, the game, potentially. We've still got an entire season to go to hold our eyes to. But Smear was just so much better right now. And it goes to show that's the one that kind of the matchup changes. When things start to get a little bit even between both of these teams, Smear is just kind of raising a point that he can better News on Granary as well as Process.
Indeed. And we have a lot of gamers to interview. so let's get them all uncuffed or unmuted, and we can get talking to them. So we have 4 Team SVIFT. We have Smear and we have Samsey. So Smear and Samsey, welcome and congratulations. What?
And Chris.
Oh, and Chris.
Thank you.
/ Pappy. All right. I guess I'll open up the floor. A quick, easy question. Not really relevant to the game, but Pappy, why did you change your name? God damn it.
I'm Asian.
Why?
That's what I have to say.
Why, Pappy?
What do you mean? It's just my first name, actually. So if you get rid of the Z and the N, that's my first name.
But every time a player changes their name for the season, I have to change the entire back end. Everybody on YouTube's like, who's this guy? And there's nothing I can do to convince them that these two players... Like, I'm pretty sure there's people on YouTube right now that still think Tony the Tiger and Stark are different people.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
Why do you bother replying to those people then?
because I want everyone to enjoy the good game of TF2.
Now, Poppy,
right.
are you still in Denmark?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll take
No,
the train
yeah.
and I'll get over there and forcefully change your Steam ID.
Yeah, can you give him like a good PC as well and like a decent monitor?
Would be
That
great.
would be swell.
Yeah, we'll swap. I don't need to do production
Can
that
you
I
way.
just go to Peter's house and play, actually.
Yeah, Beta, do you live in Ulan or Shilan?
I live in Jylland. I live on the west coast.
Yeah, it's too far. It's like the opposite end of Denmark.
Yeah.
All right, geography. Let's put that away. Let's get to the game. My fault, taking off the tangent. Now, this game tonight, the Velocity versus SVIFT game. Now, what did you think? Like, how did you think this game was going to go going into it? Do you have a sort of match line or maybe a score in mind when you guys were facing off against Velocity, or did you expect this sort of conclusion to happen? Was it going to be this easy, Samsy? Smear? Anybody?
Anybody? Well, go on then, Smart.
Well, we expected to win. Like, maybe not as convincingly, but like our warm-up game on process was really convincing. It was our first map, and we just rolled them basically. We've been struggling with Grunner a bit, so like I didn't expect us to roll them, but we managed to outmaneuver them most of the time and not lose any rounds.
Do you think, God, I even hate saying this question myself now, but I have to say it. Did the maps play at all a part tonight? I know you guys are going to tell me you're good at all the maps, but did you feel like if you played any other maps against the opposing team, Velocity, they would have maybe got a bit better score?
Cardinal, most likely.
Cardinal. That map's so bad.
Why is it so bad, Pappy?
Have you looked at it? Have you played it?
Hey, whoa now, it looks like a nice little French town. I'd love to spend a game in Cardinal.
Maybe it's good, and I just haven't taken the time to learn it. But from my point of view, it seems pretty... I don't know the word. It doesn't seem like it's designed for a game. There's too many flanks and weird ledges you can sit on.
All the lobbies are way too intricate.
The lobby is bigger than all of Gully Wash. Like, it's so dumb.
Also, there's a million sticky spots where I can hide stickies, and they are completely invisible, like props that hide them inside each other.
All right, okay, a lot of constructive feedback, I'm sure, but it is one of those beta maps. It's probably one that's got a work in process. Who knows? Maybe give enough time and polish, Cardinal could be just like any other map. But moving on, just God, I had an excellent question, but it's blanking me now. Yes. I wanted to talk about the prize pool for ETF2L. Now, me and Beta kind of take a guess that this is going to motivate a lot of players playing in this season, but does it matter to any of you guys at all, or is it still just about the pride, the competition, or do you guys actually want to play for the money? Is that all that matters?
I think the money probably only matters because you want to go to LAN and will help us, like, fund us there. But, I don't know, you can't really play TF2 for the money, can you? So it's just like a nice bonus.
I just enjoy Team Fortress 2, really.
Yep, me too.
The money doesn't really make a difference. Our goal is to go to LAN and win that. We would play regardless of the prize pool. And try hard regardless of it.
Cool. Now, you guys mentioned LAN, so this is set confirmed, definitely a LAN team 100%. Everybody I see here in the interview is going to be at LAN this come iSeries.
Yeah.
Yep,
unless Condok makes a team with Eames and Tobbs 4 minutes before LAN, then yeah.
Now, are you guys got any sort of aspirations for this ETF2L season? Is this just a fun little practice time for the LAN, or are you guys actually basing any sort of results on, like, maybe what you're going to keep at the end of the season, or who you're actually going to take to LAN?
I think for up until like week 5, Funds can't really play. He could play tonight because his like exams are still quite far away, but he has exams like most of the season. So I think we're playing with Crafty until like week 5. And I think like up until playoffs, like we haven't really been scrimming them much either. So I think like up until like playoffs, we will probably not like try like that hard. And Pappy's still on his laptop as well and stuff in Denmark with like 2 FPS, and he doesn't really. So like we don't have like a complete roster, I guess, because we're just kind of swapping out Crafty and Funds every now and then. And Pappy's still on his laptop, but like after we have both of them playing on like their proper setups or whatever, then we'll like.
Obviously we still want to like win and stuff, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to commit time and fun, so we're just going to play like 2 nights a week. Obviously try to do our best, and then when me and Funds can play, like get keen and try and win, I guess. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, week 5 is when we actually start tryharding. Okay. And right now we're just hoping we don't drop any points up until then.
Yeah, just gonna make that playoffs like secured 4th spot.
Now, me and Beta were taking guesses about what was going on, but there wasn't really much going on in the eyes of Swift Gaming, at least from what I could see. But you guys are the experts. You guys are playing. You must know what you did bad or wish you could have done better. Is there anything, guys?
Well, process was very convincing. I don't think we ever lost control.
I think there was one last round, the final round. Like you lost the last mid, and then, but that was it.
Yeah, but like we set up last properly. Like we had Uber. It's very hard to like break our defense. It seems. We did some minor mistakes. We did a trade and we lost Puppy in the exchange. But like mostly Granary. I think our mids need some work on.
Yeah, that's true.
So how much work do you put into the middles? Because you were just crushing on process. Or was that just like, I don't know, good DM or general overall planning? Or
I mean, we have a
good coordination
idea,
and we've gone through them as well. So
I'm mostly DM, I think. I don't know, like we have funds on that perma beam. We just do so much on these middles, like make stuff a little bit easier. But on Granary, I don't know. Like if the other team gets like 2 good bombs in or something, it can like really turn the middle really quick.
Yeah, I think we had an idea of what we wanted to do on Granary mid, but what they were doing seemed to just like kind of counter what we wanted to do, because on our warm up it was like kind of working fine, but this team just did like a completely different mid. Like they kept rolling out like left side from our perspective and just like going like deep, but like that kind of made our bombs like ineffective, and then we just got overrun. And we just didn't really adapt, honestly. So we just like kept doing the same thing and losing mid, but we won anyway. So
yeah, I actually just looked at the logs. It turns out we lost every mid on Granary.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that's actually kind of cringe.
Well, 5 out of 5, not bad.
Stakes.
So I think like now is when I'm like proper liking to improve a lot. See how good I can get, I guess.
All right. Well, I think I've exhausted all of my questions. Beta, have you got any smart questions back there?